Hi, I'm Sue Watson. I am one of the elite team members for Wahl Clipper, and this little cutie belongs to Shanta Hardy. She's an admin shipping coordinator here at Wahl Clipper. This is Mr. Davincci, and Davincci is a Pomeranian. He's just large for his breed. You can see the texture difference in his coat already. He's been bathed and prepped, and I know there's a lot of controversy over the fact of clipping these double-coated breeds. But if people would do like it done, I feel if I at least educate before we do it, and we don't take him to the skin totally, at least we can preserve some of the coat. It does change the texture some, but at least he grows full coat back as his coat grows out. So key to doing this breed is making sure that you have gotten out all the undercoat first. So he has been washed, blown out, and combed through, which now when clipping him is going to give us a smoother, more blended finish. They like him on the shorter side, and I always recommend that we don't go too short so that we are exposing all the hair follicles and his skin to the elements outside. So we don't want him to get sunburned, and we definitely don't want to upset the hair follicles so much that it prevents growth. Today we're going to use the KM Sapura. It's our newest cordless clipper. I have a 30 with a 1 comb on, which is going to bring him short but not skin him. So it's going to leave enough covering to protect him out when he goes outside. So when you start with these breeds, you always want to go with the natural lay of the coat. So we're going to follow in this direction so that we can get that nice feel. So he's already been prepped and he's ready to go. So we're going to turn our clipper on, and we're going to start up here at the shoulder. I thought about maybe leaving him a little bit more of a mane around his neck, but we'll see how that goes once we get up to that point. But if we're going to leave a lion mane, then we need to start back further. But you see how nice and smooth this comes down? And that's because he was well prepped. The undercoat was removed well. So this is going to clip and finish much easier. I'm going to come around the other side and start at the shoulder, and I'm going to go towards the rib cage because I want to make sure I'm following his natural lay of the coat. Now you can see where the blade hangs up just a little bit. That's usually because there's a little pocket of undercoat, but because he was so well prepped, the blade will go through it and not skim over it, and that becomes important. If it won't completely go through or under the undercoat, you're going to have a very uneven finish. And when I first run the blade over, you can see the edges of the blade make a mark, but the minute we line everything up, it just blends real nice. It leaves a little bit of a track mark, but not actual cuts in the coat. It's just because of this plushy finish that it leaves the lines. Once we get him done and comb through to set the coat, all those will disappear. It's important to keep your blade cleaned out because you don't want anything preventing the clip comb from sitting right and going through the coat. So make sure you do pull those extra hairs out. We're gonna roll this side up and we're gonna come down the rib cage. all the way under the belly, making sure that we're coming back up and blending from the top to pull this all together. We're gonna lift the front leg. He doesn't have a lot to cut up front because this is all pretty short, but we do wanna take off the long stuff down the back of the leg. This will be less to scissor and it'll even everything up better. So using your clipper as much as possible is gonna help you. And what I'm doing here is I'm just blending between the natural hair on the leg and the long stuff we just cut off on the back. Lift up, all this hair in the armpit is gonna go. And that's how we're gonna blend our underbelly with the rib cage. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay to get that nice smooth finish. Now sometimes you need to come up from this side, it's okay, and get the rest of that hair out of the armpit. Now because we wanna leave more of a mane, we wanna leave it slightly longer in the front. So we're just gonna come down. So it's almost gonna form like a oblong circle here. And you come in on an angle. Get those long hairs in the armpit. And then just work on blending. This trim actually goes pretty quickly, especially if you've got your coat prepped correctly. Lift up. So prep is very, very important. When you've got a clipper that cuts like the Sapura does, it makes it even better. Now we want to blend into the back leg, get rid of all that long stuff there. We're gonna lift the tail, and we're gonna come down the back of the back leg, and we're gonna cut in some angulation, because even though we're cutting them short, we still want them to have a little bit of style. When he has rear angulation showing, it shows he knows, it shows his legs should move in the right direction. We don't want him to look like he walks stiff-legged. So getting that all blended becomes very important. And what you do to the outside, you want to make sure you're doing to the inside as well. So if you can lift the other leg up out of your way, these will give him nice clean lines. As he walks away, he's going to look nice and neat. Now, I just want to point out too that on these double-coated breeds, I personally don't do sanitary trims. Their skin is a little more sensitive than the dogs we generally groom every day. So that's why there's a bit more hair underneath, but we are gonna blend it all in, so at least he's neat and tidy. But you can already see his skin is the hair is pretty thin on that skin anyway, so it's not like he needs a whole lot. We're gonna work on completing the blending up here on his neck ruff. And an easy way to do that is if we stand in front of him and we remove the loop, and we're gonna angle into the withers to get that nice blended finish. And then when we go in just to finish that up, it won't take long to complete that blending. We're gonna blend the rest of the back and just into the base of the tail. We're not gonna go too far in. We're just gonna lift a little bit and blend about 1.5 inches from the back into the tail. This way, when he puts his tail up, he won't have a big bunch of hair here, preventing his tail from going upright. So just a little bit in. It makes the fold look neat and trim and keeps your haircut looking fresh. So now we're just making sure all of our lines are well blended. And set in right. We have the withers cut in well so that we can start this mane. So this would be called a lion trim. And when we notice there isn't any more hair being cut off, we know we pretty much have this coat right where we want it. Good boy, Davincci. When you're finished clipping, he should have this plushy feel and look to the coat. Okay, now we're gonna put him back in the loop, and then we're gonna work on the other side to get that cut in. So now we've cut down both sides of the dog, and we pretty much have set this mane in. We have a little adjusting to do, but what I wanna show you now is these little fine hairs here. They're always hard to clip down, even though we completely went over the leg with the clipper. So we just want to take our scissors and neaten up those hairs. And you can use chunkers if you like, or you can just use your shears. You can even use thinning shears. It's really up to you and what you like, but it just takes a little bit. But you do want to comb out and make sure that you're getting everything the clipper had a hard time blending, so that as he grows out more even, and he has that nice, pretty, plushy finish all the way through. Same thing on the back leg. You want to comb up, and you can see all these fine hairs that popped up. You're just going to scissor those to blend, just so he's nice and tidy. You're going to comb up the outside of the leg. And right here at the transition, just like we had in the front, right here just above the hock, so you can see on the inside of the leg, all these ultra fine, longer hairs. Even though we went over it with the clipper, it doesn't really want to cut them well. So this is where you have to actually come in with your scissors and just kind of tidy and neaten up. Now again, I told you before, I don't do the sanitary area, so I am not going to clip off around his little boy parts, but I do want to kind of move things over, and all this bunched up hair that was up inside, just take your comb and lightly comb out. Don't get rough, don't get aggressive, and just neaten it to blend in with the inside of the leg. This is gonna just give him a neater appearance. And don't forget to do the other side. So just hold everything over and comb that out, and then you can finish up. And that way, he's just gonna stay neater looking longer. So now we're just gonna double check, comb up, make sure you're looking towards the front part of the rear leg as well, so that you're scissoring up to the front edge of the rear leg. There we go. It's okay, it's okay. Now you can tell he's a little fidgety, and there could be a reason for that. He's either not used to having his legs picked up. We're just neatening up this back edge by the bend. This will sharpen his angulation and neaten just above the hocks. We're gonna lift the tail, and you can see all these short ends that pop down. These are hairs that were either cut or clipped before, so we want to tidy that up. But we don't want to expose everything, so we just want the hair thin enough to where when he goes to the bathroom, it's not going to catch on his coat. And if we do just a little space, when he does put his tail up, you're not going to have all those fine hairs falling down. It just keeps it neat and trim. So then go through and do a final comb on your tail. If you want to check your line, comb down. And you can put just a nice little half circle right here, just to kind of tidy up that finish. But when the tail's up, everything's going to stay together up here. So it just gives it that nice appearance. I always run my comb through a final time just to make sure we've gotten everything. And the more you run your comb through, the plushier this coat's going to get and feel. And I can't stress enough that prepping this coat is so, so important. Without this prep, it is going to look bumpy and very uneven. But when you have the coat blown out and the undercoat well removed, your coat's just going to lay in place and everything's just going to feel ultra soft. So prep is the key. All right, we're going to move on to doing his mane, and that'll take a few minutes, but not too long. So we're going to come up front, and we're going to comb everything downward. Now it should be a little bit longer in the front than it is in the back, because if you remember what a lion mane looks like, they do have a fuller front. In fact, theirs comes between the front legs, but we're not going to do that with him because it'll just get all knotted. So let's move that loop out of the way. We're going to comb all this in place. And now we're going to use our clipper to blend our edge better, because we don't have to waste scissor time to do that. We're going to drop his neck down a little bit, and we're going to just skim that edge into the body. And we're getting those loose hairs that we just combed out, and it's all blending in. Check it from all angles so that you make sure you're getting all those little end guard hairs to blend your mane together. And you see that nice beveled edge you're getting? And when he shakes out, it'll be a natural edge. So we're gonna come on this side, make sure we're getting the same finish over here. Now we want to bring that through and follow through to the front. So we're going to comb this down. So all this here needs to blend. So you're just skimming. You're not pressing hard, because of course you don't want to put a hole in him. But we do want to get all those edge guard hairs off. You can come up this way, and it puts a nice edge. It's okay. And this just makes it a little faster than trying to scissor everything. It's just a light touch. Just flick your wrist. And now we can check it with our comb. We're going to comb out. And we're going to see what pops out that we might have missed. And we've got a pretty decent shape. There's a few things we can fix down here. And what we can't get with our clipper, that's what we're going to finish with our scissors or chunkers. But it should be a nice, smooth transition. Flip it around again and just come up. Because this dog had been totally shaved before, putting a little bit of a finish on it is going to help make it look better. It's going to blend more into the head and give that nice smooth finish. There we go. Now we can put the loop on, let him shake out, and then let's see what we need to fix. So comb up. You can see these guard hairs that popped up. You see this ridge of guard hairs that popped up. So those we can actually get with our clipper without having to bring our shears out yet. And we're just looking for those long guard hairs. If they need to blend, we can finish that. This is your opportunity to get anything you might see. All right, so pretty much our clipper work is done. We're gonna take a look at the coat again. We're gonna go over what we need to fix. Oh my goodness, you look so cute. You look so cute. What are you gonna do? Good job. All right, so we've done what we could do with our clipper, and now we're combing everything in place, and we're seeing what might pop out. And we see just a couple of hairs. I am using a curved chunker, and I am gonna just kind of blend the rest of those edges in. Make sure everything is coming to a finish. Your finish work is really important to this trim. If you leave the mane too full, it really detracts from the actual haircut. So making sure that you've got it cut in and finished is the icing. We're gonna blend into the withers so that we have that nice finished look. Comb up, see what comes out. Good boy. What a good boy. All right. And now the last thing we need to do is set these ears in, because we don't want to leave those unfinished, because then it just doesn't make our haircut look done. It looks like we forgot something. Make sure you're looking at your angles everywhere so that you get that nice blended finish. All right. I'm gonna put him back in the loop. And now I'm gonna get my shears because I never wanna trim an ear with chunkers. They're too unpredictable and you don't wanna cut an ear. Using the finer edge of the comb, we are gonna comb the edges of the ears out. So we're gonna cut up this edge. It's okay. And we're gonna round the tip. Make sure you slide your thumb and finger to protect the edge of the ear. This way you'll cut you before you cut the dog. And I know it won't feel good to you either, but it's better than cutting your dog. So you can see all these fine edges that pop out. You're just gonna tidy those up. Make sure your finger is at the edge so you can round that. And don't just think you know where the ear edge is. There's been plenty of groomers that have cut an ear thinking they know right where the ear edge is, but they didn't. But this is going to help finish your trim even more. Go up to the edge. There you go. There you go. But you see, when you trim the ear in, instead of leaving it unfinished, it just gives that polished look. So we need to do the same to this. We're going to comb out. And all this edge here, we're going to trim. We're going to slide our finger up. Go around the edge of the ear. Sorry. We're going to comb that edge. And you see that unfinished edge? We're going to fix that. Make sure you're in control at all times. Do not just free trim your ear. Now, if you want to check it, you can fold your ear in half. And again, you're watching and being mindful of the edges. And because we did it to one side, we need to do it to the other. Good job. And you can leave this angle here. Sometimes if you cut it in when you have a larger mane, it separates it too much. So just by putting the ear up, you have this nice soft finish here. We can take a couple of those longer ends and fix that. We're going to comb up again. These little longer pieces here, we're going to tidy. Good job, big boy. And you should be able to comb right through the coat. If it's prepped correctly, you should be able to comb through. Now you can comb into place. It's going to fall anyway. So comb, make sure your beveled edge is finished and rounded. And you can trim out a little bit right here in the corner of the eye. That gets rid of those hairs that are sticking up. And it kind of separates the muzzle just a little bit, which finishes it nicely. This is our lion trim on a Pomeranian.